afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome back to Eureka class. Today is Thursday, January 7th, 2021. I am very excited to be back and continue learning Module 5. And the reason that Module 5 is super cool is because it's very similar to Module 4. We're just adding bigger numbers. So let's go ahead and start, boys and girls. Okay, let's remember our goal is to make sure you complete your assignment, and when you submit your work, you score an 85. You need no materials for today because you're only observing, and we're going to use a Peer Deck link in the live class as well a Peer Deck link for the homework that will be provided for you. Your expectations, boys and girls, make sure you're sitting tall. You have all the materials ready in part, which today you're only going to need your computer. You actively participate by doing your work or listening to the teacher. That you always go back to the channels or videos if you have any questions. And you ask Miss Allen or Mrs. Bocanegra if you have questions. Raise your hand using the hand icon. When we're in the live class, you always see unmute and you only unmute yourself when you call on. That shows that you're respectful, boys and girls. And let's just keep on working on Dreambox. Okay, boys and girls, let's talk about what are we learning today. What we've been learning on the place value units, which is the hundreds, the tens, and the ones, and you already know that it's a unit and each unit has its value. Well, we're going to be doing some addition and some subtraction. And look at it, there's no key points because in today's lesson, you get to decide which way you get to solve the problem, whatever works best for you. Either the number bond or the arrow way, whatever is your best preference. So let's start working and let's learn. Now remember, you've been practicing the arrow and the number bond. You should already have it memorized it. So what's our objective for today? What do we need to learn by the end of the lesson today? Well, you need to learn that you're able to add and subtract multiples of 100 and including counting to subtract, boys and girls. So, look at this. How many do you see? Let's see. We have the number 125, right? And today, boys and girls, we're going to add hundreds, tens, and ones. So, look at this. Think, how many ones do I have? How many hundreds? How many tens? So we're going to show this in the place value chart. So I have 5 ones, 2 tens, and 3 hundreds. So now I want to change the hundreds to 325. I want you to think and I want you to look at it. How much do you see here? Get ready. Yes, 325. But think, how can you show this change using the place value disk? If you said to add more hundreds, you're absolutely right. Let's add the 200, boys and girls. Look. Now I'm going to add the 200s. What will happen to the number when I add 200s? Yes, boys and girls, the number in the hundreds place is going to get bigger by 2, and it gets bigger by the value of 200. The ones digits and the tens digits stay the same. Now, I want you to think, what is 325 plus 200? Think about it. What's 325 plus 200? Yes, boys and girls, the answer is 525. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pencil and I'm adding 200. I'm going to try my best, boys and girls. 100 and 200. There you go. So you know that 325 plus 200 equals to 525. Now, boys and girls, say this in unit form. Get ready? Yes, 500s. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 10s. Yes, 2 10s. And 5 1s. Amazing, boys and girls. Now, let's see. What are we going to do now? If I ask you to add 300s to 450, how could you solve that? So I want you to think. I want you to look at me because I'm going to show it solving this problem 2 different ways. But first, let's answer that question. If I ask you to add 300s to 450, how can you solve that? Yes, boys and girls, you can count on by 100 3 times. And you can add, yes, 300 disc on the place value chart. Now, are you ready to look? Make sure you're sitting tall. I'm going to get my black pencil and I'm going to add 450 plus 300 using the number bond. So here first I write number bond. Number bond. I'm trying my best, so bear with me. Here we go, boys and girls. I can add 300, so using the arrow weight as we did the lesson before, but I can also break apart. So I have 450 plus 300. What I can do is I can break apart the number 450 by hundreds and tens. I know that I have 450 tens. So then I just add 400 plus 300. And that gives me 700. Then I add the parts, these parts. I add the parts that are left over, which is 50 and 700. So 700 plus 50 gives me 750, boys and girls. So, I'm going to write here arrow way, arrow way. And look over here. So, I write 450. I make the little arrow plus 100 gives me 550, but I'm not done counting all the way to 300. So I'm going to add 100 one more time plus 100. That gives me 650. I write the arrow. plus 100. That gives me 750. Oh my God! Look at this. Look at this. This 100 plus 100 plus 100 gives me the 300 that I was adding, boys and girls. So, I'm going to tell you a little secret, boys and girls. No matter which way I write it, when I add hundreds to a number, the tens and the ones stay the same. Let me repeat that one more time. No matter which way I write it, when I add hundreds on a number bond, the tens and the ones stay the same. Okay, boys and girls, let's practice that problem. It's your turn, and I want you to think, how can you tell Miss Bocanegra, which way do you think it's easier? For some of you, it may be the number bond. For some of you, it may be the arrow. So let's think, which way can we solve this problem? If you say number bond first, you're right. So let's see, what is the first thing we do? I'm going to do the number bond here. First thing we do is, yes, boys and girls, write the problem, 147 plus 200. What do you think I should do next? Amazing. Yes, we need to break it apart by hundreds and tens. 147. What do you do next? Yes, we add the hundreds. So 100 plus 200 equals 300. What do I do at the end? Yes, boys and girls, I add the parts that are left over. Terrific. So we know that 300 plus 47 equals 347. Great job, boys and girls, in solving this together. Okay, boys and girls, now we're going to start solving this using the arrow way. So let's do the arrow way. How can I do it? How can I do the arrow way? Yes, I write the number 147. I do the arrow. In class, I told you if you put a line, it's still okay. Plus 100. Yes, equals 147 plus 100 equals 247. What should I do next? Yes, I make another arrow. And I add another 100. Yes, boys and girls, that gives me 347. Look, just like I told you earlier, no matter which way or which strategy you use, when you add hundreds to a number, the tens and the ones stay the same, boys and girls. Boys and girls, we just finished doing addition. It's our turn to change our thinking cap and change from adding to subtracting. Let me know when you're ready. Okay, boys and girls, how many do you see? Yes, 725. See that number in uniform? Yes, 7 hundreds, 2 tens, and 5 ones. I want you to look and see what's going to happen next, boys and girls. I am going to subtract 2 hundreds. What will happen to the hundreds when I subtract 2 hundreds? Yes, boys and girls, the number in the hundreds will get smaller by 2. Okay, boys and girls, are we ready? So, let's figure it out. What's 525 minus 200? Are we ready? So remember, this sign that you see right here means that you take away. So I'm going to take away 100, 200. So tell me, what's 525 minus 200? Yes, boys and girls, 325. Now say this in unit form. Yes, 300s, look at them. 1, 2, 3. 2 tens, yes, 1, 2. Yes, boys and girls, and 5 ones. Okay, are we ready? So now, let's subtract 300 from 582. And boys and girls, remember, we are going to use any way. You can use the arrow way, the number bond, or the counting on. So, let's practice. So, the first thing that I'm going to do is the number bond. Are you ready? So, this is why it's so important to practice all these ones, because you get to decide what you want. The number bond. So I write 582 minus 300. What's the first thing we do? Yes, I have to take out by 100 because that's what we're focusing on. I write 500 on one side and 82 on the other, because 582 make 582. Now, what should I do? Yeah, I'm going to subtract 500 minus 300. I subtract the hundreds. 500 minus 300 equals 200. Then I add the parts that are left over, boys and girls. I add 200 plus 82. And that gives me 282. That's one way using the the number bond. Now I am going to use the arrow way. So, arrow. I write, I'm going to solve the arrow way like this. I write 582 minus 100, and that gives me 482. Now 482 minus 100 gives me 382. No, I'm not all the way there. I haven't taken away 300. Look, I only done 100 and 200. Now 382 minus 100. And that gives me 282, boys and girls. Look, same thing, boys and girls. Same thing I told you. No matter which way I write it, no matter which strategy, every time when you are subtracting a number, 100, and the ones and the tens stay the same. Look, the ones and the tens didn't change because I'm only taking away hundreds. Okay, ready? We're going to solve another problem, and that's it. Two ways, number one or 100. But I actually want to solve this one a different way. So this is called the counting on, boys and girls. Are you ready? So this is what it means. So if I have 620 minus 400, tell me, boys and girls, what is the whole? This is another way. What's the whole? Yes, if you said the whole is 620, you're absolutely right. 620, it's the whole. And what's the part that we know? Yes, 400. So we can say something plus 400 equals 620 or 400 plus something, we don't know that missing part, equals 682, boys and girls. Okay? Now, I am going to choose the count on, boys and girls. Watch. I start with 400, 400, and I'm going to count on all the way to 620. So right here, I start with 420. Then I'm going to add, what should I add? Well, I can add 100. What's 400 plus 100? Yes, boys and girls, the answer is 500. Now, am I at 620? Nope. So now, 500 plus what number should I add next? Yes, boys and girls, plus 100. It gives me what? Yes, 500 plus 100 gives you 600. Am I already at 620? Are we close? Yes, boys and girls. So 600 plus one number gives me 620. Yes, boys and girls, plus 20. Oops, I'm sorry, boys and girls. 600 plus 20 gives me 620. Oops. Gives me 620. Am I at 620 now? Yes, we are, boys and girls. So we got it. So here is the important part, boys and girls. That this we have to add this parts because that's the missing part. So what's 100 plus 100 plus 20? Yes, boys and girls, it's 220. So we know that 220 plus 400 gives us 620. This is the count on strategy using the arrow. I can also solve it using the number bond. Watch. I have 620. I want you to look over here, and I'm going to label it number 1. 620 minus 400. So I'm going to break apart by hundreds and tens. 620. Then I subtract the hundreds. I'm checking, boys and girls. Do you guys think I'm going to get the same answer? Oops. 600 minus 400 equals 200. Then I add the parts that are left over. 200 plus 20. And 200 plus 20 gives me 220. Oh my goodness. I solved this problem using the number bond and the arrow way count on, and I was able to solve both problems. Boys and girls, we'll continue working these problems in Peer Deck. So I will see you in class. Thank you for joining. Bye.